From man to king.
What's up, good people? From Man to King here, and today I want to have a discussion on handsome men. Specifically, one of the cons of being an extremely handsome man. Now, I don't want this to come off like if you're handsome, it's a detriment to the world, like we're all victims. That's not what I'm saying. You see, when people get a first look at a handsome man, the majority of them think you have everything going well for yourself. After all, you're good looking, right? You have good looks, confidence high as hell probably, a lot of attention from beautiful women. It's pretty standard to think that people assume that just because you're good looking, you have everything going well for yourself. You're exempt from life's bullshit. However, beneath the surface, many handsome men experience something only a few really talk about: loneliness. Now, for me personally, for most of my life, I was never the most good-looking person in the room. Like I've said in previous videos, I was obese until my first year in college. Girls didn't look my way most of my life. But the funny thing about that is I had more friends then than I do now. And it's weird, right? How once you start leveling up and looks maxing, it's like most of these motherfuckers disappear from your life. And this is crucial I talk about this because if you're someone who's in the process of getting your shit together, you will see how envious people in your circle get. Pay close attention to those who don't clap when you win. Guys, not one friend of mine told me I lost weight when I was going through my journey. Not one. I'm still waiting for those motherfuckers to text me back. You know who would be the ones telling me I lost weight? People in the gym. People I wouldn't even consider friends. But they saw me focused and putting in the work. And I need y'all to understand how wild that is. People I didn't know personally would compliment me more than my own friends. Why it's important I talk about this is because becoming really handsome taught me how superficial some relationships can be. When you level up and become good looking, it's standard that some people will be drawn to you purely off of your looks. Now there is the other side where people will be intimidated by you, but this goes for women and men. If you come off approachable, people will be drawn to you. It sounds good in theory, right? On the surface. But for me personally, I think I have way more to offer than just good looks. Now, if you're someone who doesn't care for that kind of stuff, then go ahead and get that attention just for your looks. But for me, don't judge me purely off of physical. The confidence I have in myself goes deeper than just good looks. Now, don't get it twisted, sometimes I walk into a room and I'm like, man, these motherfuckers ugly as hell. But y'all get my point. I like to think of myself as a well-rounded individual with unique qualities. Fellas, when you become or try to become the best version of yourself, you don't want to just be known as just the good looking guy. Because number one, some men will try to be your friend simply because they look better hanging out with you. And number two, some women will try to get you just so they can say, I'm going on a date with a really good looking guy. This boosts their self-esteem. And how I know this is because when I lost that weight and I finally got on a date with a chick I thought was hot, boy, I thought I hit the lotto. It didn't matter if I was making minimum wage working some shit job. The fact I got this girl texting me had my confidence going crazy. I was running up and down the house singing Luther Vandross, my head was so big. But getting back to the point, the fact that they're exchanging texts with someone who's very attractive is sometimes all they're looking for. That's why sometimes you'll be getting crazy choosing signals from a chick, go up and approach and she denies you. I've had this happen plenty of times to me. Fellas, I keep it real on my channel. I've gotten crazy choosing signals from girls. I go up and they deny me. The fact that she was able to get your attention was good enough for her. Because sometimes a woman will look at you and think you're out of her league. So she gives you choosing signals to see if she can attract you and get your attention. That's the challenge. And then once she gets it, she's done. Case in point, guys, superficial relationships. These are not the relationships you want in your life. People think you're attractive, so you're exempt from having any real feelings. Now, I'm not saying get on the first day and start crying to the chick, but y'all get my point. You want people around you that really care about what's going on with you internally. Another reason why I think loneliness is common amongst very attractive people is that they may struggle with trust issues. Fellas, I know I do. And this connects to my last point. After seeing how some of my closest friends just gradually disappear, what do you think that did to my connections? Now, it's not like I sit in a room all antisocial and cry all day, no. I still got my friends, I'm still dating. But sometimes it's hard to tell if someone is really interested in you as a person, or they're just using you for your looks or status. Now, this fear of being manipulated can prevent attractive people from opening up to others. So right off the bat, making genuine connections can be tricky. Fellas, I see this with men all the time. Sometimes they'll get close to you, see if they can get some type of information out of you, just so they can use it against you. Fellas, I remember opening up to a boy of mine who I knew for, 8+ years. It was a situation with one of my cousins and, things almost got violent. Nothing crazy, right? But something that was weighing heavy on my mind. And I told him the story, and every time I saw him after that, he would make a joke about it. Now guys, I have a huge sense of humor. I'm not some ultra sensitive guy, right? I can laugh at myself. But if I open up to you on some real life shit and you're one of my boys, I expect you to respect it. That's what a real friend does. Not turn it into jokes. And I checked him on it and I'm like, bro, you see this shit is weighing on my mind and I trust you with that type of shit and you want to make jokes about it? Like, we as men don't open up anyway. And y'all know I advocate never opening up to a woman. But your boys are who you vent to. So I trust you with this type of shit and it's just used as a joke later. Y'all see what I mean? And how this all connects is if I was some ugly dude, I don't think my boy makes those jokes. Cause maybe when you don't look as good, people take your problems seriously. When you're good looking, people think your problems aren't as serious. Situations like these taught me how people really prey on your downfall. And it's not just people, your friends, close friends. You see it all the time in quotes, but this is real life. Be careful who you open up to. People have hidden motives. Attractive men also struggle with always staying true to themselves. And I want to talk about this for a little bit. This struggle stems from the way society perceives them and the expectations on them because of the good looks. Fellas, some women might want you to be an asshole because that's what they think you should act like because you're very attractive. Now, whether or not you're an asshole to women is not the point. Now, from my experience, my dating life improved when I became more of an asshole to women. I'm just saying. I'm not telling y'all to become assholes. I'm just saying it did improve my life. Now, when I say being an asshole to women, I'm not putting her in the walls of Jericho or anything like that. I'm just more assertive and confident. I have boundaries. I'm a man. I don't disrespect women, but I don't let them walk all over me. But getting back to the point, you can turn off some women because you're not who they thought you should be. And you know what I say to those? Good fucking riddance. On my channel, I'm about helping you guys improve yourselves, but never change who you are because society wants you or expects you to be that way. And I don't know if that's the Sigma male in me, but I'm always going to do what I feel is right for me. I don't care what society wants me to do. I don't care what women want me to do. Guys, I'm not in the business of manipulating or treating people like shit. Don't get it twisted. I always do what's best for me, but never at the expense of other people. Cause y'all can talk about how women are bitches and all that, but the biggest bitch in life is karma. That energy comes back to you at some point. Now, getting back to my point about perception, since I'm an introvert and I'd like to think of myself as a very good looking guy, people mistake that quietness as someone who's aloof, who's weird, who's distant, who shouldn't act like that because he's attractive. And there's one thing I need y'all to understand. Being introverted looks different on an attractive man. You see, you're not so attractive and people expect you to be quiet and weird. You're attractive, you're supposed to be this extroverted loudmouth who craves attention. Now, this inner dilemma can lead you not knowing how to act in public places. That's why I always preach being yourself. You change the world by being yourself. Fellas, one thing I need y'all to protect is your peace. When you're not being yourself most of your day, it's a big reason why y'all are exhausted by the time you go home. You've been playing this avatar you created for most of the day, and your body shuts down because it needs that rest. It's telling you, put away this character you created and it's time to take the mask off. That's why I will always preach being yourself. Sometimes you might need to tell your friends no. You see, protecting your peace is just prioritizing your mental and emotional health, making choices that help you stay cool, calm, collected, and centered, no matter the bullshit life throws your way. If someone in your life disrupts that peace, keeps you on edge or always brings negative vibes, you gotta get rid of them. Y'all need to learn how to have boundaries. Once I start setting boundaries, I felt like I finally gained control over my own life. Now, how all this connects is earlier I spoke about how my boys started to disregard me once I started losing that weight and looking good. And in theory, you would think that was tough for me. That was actually one of the best things that ever happened to me because I started to understand what peace was during these times. I was on my own. I was focused. I found a path for myself. I didn't have to pretend I liked something because I didn't want to ruin the vibe of my other friends. There was no unnecessary drama. I was able to think for myself and myself only. I don't have to deal with any expectations but my own. I became the priority. Fellas, I looked back and I realized I was more lonely with a bunch of fake friends than I am now. Now I'm extremely careful with who I associate with. Once you see true peace, you realize how addictive it really is. But getting back to the topic at hand, being attractive can bring that loneliness, but it's a different kind of loneliness than being surrounded by fake friends. When you're alone because of your looks, it's easier to focus on yourself and grow as a person. On the other hand, fake friends make you feel empty even when you're with them, because you know they truly don't care about you for who you really are. It's better to be alone with self-awareness than to feel alone with a group of friends who don't care for you. If getting your shit together brings loneliness, then so be it. But all in all, guys, I hope you liked the video. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. Until next time.